A cold drizzle fell over the city that evening. Cars rushed past the dimly lit streets, their tires splashing water onto the sidewalks where people hurried under umbrellas. But in a small, forgotten corner near a closed bakery, a thin girl wrapped in a torn blanket knelt beside a frail old man. She took out the only food she had, a half-eaten sandwich she'd saved from the day before, and offered it to him with trembling hands. "Please, eat this, Grandpa," she whispered. "You need it more than I do." From across the street, a man in a black car quietly watched through the rain-streaked window. His eyes followed the girl, his expression unreadable. The driver asked softly, "Sir, should I continue driving?" But the man shook his head slowly, his gaze fixed on her. "No," he said in a low, thoughtful voice. "I want to see what she does next." Little did that girl know, this moment would change her life forever. Chapter 1. The Girl Who Had Nothing But Heart. Her name was Lena, 17 years old, homeless for almost 2 years. Life hadn't been kind. Her mother passed away when she was 14, and her father, once a proud mechanic, fell into depression, then illness, and eventually disappeared from her life altogether. Since then, Lena had learned to survive the hard way. She slept behind closed shops, bathed at public taps, and begged for leftovers outside small restaurants. Despite her hunger and ragged clothes, she always smiled at strangers and helped others who had even less than her. That evening, she found the old man sitting by the dumpster, shivering violently. His face was wrinkled, his clothes soaked, and his lips pale. Lena crouched beside him. "Are you okay, sir?" she asked. He barely opened his eyes. I haven't eaten for 2 days." Her stomach had been growling all day. The only thing she had was a sandwich she'd managed to save from a bakery worker who pitied her that morning. She looked at it for a moment, hesitated, and then smiled softly. "Here," she said, tearing it in half. "We can share." But the old man shook his head weakly. "You need it too, child." Lena pushed it toward him firmly. "You remind me of my father," she said quietly. "He always told me, never let someone go hungry if you can help it. Please, eat." The old man took it, tears filling his tired eyes. At that moment, across the street, the black car was still parked. The man inside, Ethan Ward, the CEO of one of the city's largest food companies, watched the scene unfold. He had been on his way to a business dinner when he saw her kneel down in the rain. Ethan had built his empire from the ground up. He was powerful, wealthy, respected, but somewhere along the way, his heart had grown cold. Watching the girl give away her only food struck something deep inside him that he hadn't felt in years. The next morning, Lena woke up to find the old man gone, but a small folded note lay beside her blanket. "Thank you, kind soul. May life reward you one day as you deserve." She smiled faintly, not knowing that life had already set that reward in motion. Chapter 2. The Man Who Watched from the Shadows. A few days later, Lena was sitting near the park, trying to sell some old magazines for coins. Her hands were cold, her clothes still damp from the rain. Suddenly, a voice spoke behind her. "Excuse me, are you Lena?" She turned around, startled. The man before her was tall, sharply dressed in a dark coat, his expression calm yet gentle. She'd never seen someone so polished talk to her before. "Yes, that's me," she said hesitantly. "Do I know you?" He smiled faintly. "Not yet. But I saw what you did the other night, for that old man." Her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "Oh, that. It was nothing." "It wasn't nothing," he replied. "Most people would have walked past him. You gave him the only food you had." She looked down, fidgeting. "I just couldn't leave him hungry." The man extended his hand. "I'm Ethan Ward. I run a food foundation for the homeless. I want to help you." Lena blinked, confused. "Help me? Why?" "Because you reminded me what real kindness looks like," he said softly. "I've spent years surrounded by people chasing money, power, and success. But you, a girl with nothing, gave everything you had. You deserve a chance at a better life." At first, she refused. She thought it was a trick. But Ethan insisted and took her to a shelter funded by his company. There, she got clean clothes, warm food, and a safe place to sleep. For the first time in years, she slept on a bed. Days turned into weeks. Lena began helping out at the foundation, serving food, organizing supplies, comforting children who came in hungry. Ethan often visited quietly, watching her dedication grow stronger each day. One evening, she found him standing by the window. "Why me?" she asked softly. "There are so many others you could have helped." He smiled. "Because sometimes one act of kindness can awaken something lost in another person. You didn't just help that old man, Lena, you helped me remember who I used to be." Her eyes filled with tears. "You gave me back my life, Mr. Ward." He shook his head gently. "No, you earned it, with your heart." Months later, Ethan offered her a job at his company's community outreach department. Lena worked hard, studied in the evenings, and eventually became the youngest coordinator the foundation ever had. And one rainy afternoon, just like that night, she stood at the same corner, watching another homeless man shiver in the cold. She smiled, walked up, and handed him a meal. Across the street, Ethan watched her again, this time not as a stranger, but as someone proud. The rain fell softly, washing away the city's noise. And as the narrator's voice would say at the end of the video, "Greater than, sometimes, life hides its blessings in the smallest acts of kindness." The girl who once had nothing gave everything, and the world gave it back tenfold. Because when you give with love, the universe always finds a way to return it.